Yo, what is up everybody? Watt007 here and welcome back to a brand new Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links video. And in today's Duel Links video, I'm going to be helping all of you guys out on choosing the best card to get with your brand new UR Dream Ticket that you got from the KC Grand Prix 2021 celebration campaign. So without further ado, let's just hop into it. So first things first, when it comes to utilizing the UR Dream Ticket, if you genuinely do not know what you want to spend your UR Dream Ticket on, don't be afraid to save your ticket right here. As you can see in the game right here, this UR Dream Ticket that you guys got from the recent KCGT celebration campaign, this ticket lasts until November 30th of 2021. So you have a good amount of months before you really need to utilize this before it expires. And I would genuinely recommend setting a calendar day if you still see yourself playing Duel Links until November 30th of 2021. And the reason why I also say to save this ticket if you don't know what you want to use it on is because with the UR Dream Tickets, it allows you to get a card from a mini box, main box structure deck. Basically cards that you would normally need to pay gems or money for, you can get it literally for free with the UR Dream Ticket right here. So if you don't know what you want to use your UR Dream Ticket on, you can just save it until you absolutely know that you need a certain card from one of those older boxes to boost up one of your decks or meta decks that come later on in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. You never know when a meta deck is going to come into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links where I need to utilize an old card, and having that UR Dream Ticket is going to help out a lot for the long term if that's the case. As you can see too, I have a different UR Dream Ticket that I still have access to from the 4th anniversary that lasts until January 31st of 2022. So I got plenty of time for that, and I just need to remember to spend it before it expires. But still, if you're itching to spend this UR Dream Ticket, I got a ton of cards to recommend to you guys that will really help you guys out when it comes to utilizing this UR Dream Ticket. So let's hop into that. Now, first things first, there is so many different cards to choose from here, and a good way to help you kind of like cut in half all these cards that are just a little overwhelming in front of your face is if you click the little drop down arrow here, you can actually click this button called boxes, and it'll actually make it to where the only cards that you can choose from are from boxes and structure decks, because for some reason the UR Dream Ticket allows you to get cards from that were farmable and free from previous events. And the thing is as you can see in my ticket list, I have so many tickets in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, and in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links will hand you a ton of tickets the more you play this game, and these tickets have access to all those farmable cards and free cards from events. And you don't want to waste your UR Dream Ticket on something like that simply for the fact that the UR Dream Tickets are the only tickets in the game that allow you to get cards from boxes and structure decks. So you want to just click this little filter button here, and from right here you're going to be able to only choose cards that were from boxes and structure decks. If possible, try to keep it to just main boxes and mini boxes when it comes to choosing cards from your UR Dream Ticket. You probably don't want to waste your UR Dream Ticket on a structure deck box, simply for the fact that you can get a structure deck for free by spending some gems, or you can fish out a little bit of money, like around $4 to $8 to get other copies from that structure deck. So unless you're like a die-hard free-to-play player, then use your UR Dream Ticket on some of these structure deck monsters. Like if you wanted to get a boost for your Noble Knights, you could just do that. Or you know, you could just fish out a little bit of cash and then get that structure deck, because at least those structure deck cards are guaranteed. So I would recommend to kind of stick to just mini box and main box. And you can always check if a card is from a mini or a main box by clicking on the card, and there'll be a button called How to Obtain. And when you click that How to Obtain button, it'll tell you where the card is going to be obtainable from. So you can always double check to make sure it's not a structure deck card, so if you guys are going to go rogue and not listen to later some of these cards in the guide. And then the last tip I have to say about utilizing the UR Dream Ticket, if you are like a brand new player in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, and again, there's just too many cards that you don't have that this UR Dream Ticket can give to you, here's a couple cards that I would recommend for you guys if you're a new player that would work in many different decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. So first of all, when it comes to the spell cards in the game right here, one card I would recommend is Forbidden Lance. This card can be used in a multitude of different decks, and it can help out a lot of decks, especially some of the more recent stuff that came into the game, like the new Junk Synchron or Shooting Star Dragon deck. Forbidden Lance right here is a quick play spell card where you can target a face-up monster on the field. Until the end of this turn, that target loses 800 attack, but is unaffected by the effects of other spell and trap cards. This card is a really versatile card for the fact that when you're trying to synchro or exceed summon, before your opponent will utilize cards like Floodgate, Regeki Break on you, you can actually lance your own monster that you're trying to combo off of and be able to keep it on the board. So that is very useful right here, because you can still trigger your card's effects and you don't have to worry about it getting floodgated or just getting stopped by your opponent's back row cards. On top of that, this card is very versatile too, because some situations your opponent is going to attack into you and you want to make sure that that opponent won't destroy your monster. Forbidden Lance lowers the attack of that monster that you target it with by 800 points. So in a situation when your opponent's attacking you, you can lower that card by 8,000 or 800 points and then be able to destroy it in the middle of the battle phase, since this card is a quick play card and you can use it during either player's turn. So Forbidden Lance, while I'm personally really bad with this card, this is a card that I'm really bad with. It's still a very versatile card that can work in a multitude of decks, and I would recommend this with your UR Dream Ticket. And then the other card that I would recommend is Cosmic Cyclone. This card hasn't seen that much play recently, but it's still a very powerful back row removal card that you can get for free with your UR Dream Ticket here. It's a quick play spell card where you pay 1,000 life points. You can target a spell and trap card on the field and banish it, so that can get rid of those pesky back row cards during either player's turn. And if you're utilizing that new Zexomorph skill, you can utilize this card to kind of cut your life points to 2,000, so you can trigger your Zexomorph skill and just other skills in the game. There's a reason why Cosmic Cyclone is limited 3 section, is because of just how good it is comboing with certain skills in the game, because you can trigger certain skills by losing a certain amount of life points, and Cosmic Cyclone can cheese that out. So Cosmic Cyclone and Forbidden Lance are the only 2 super good cards that you can get that can work in a multitude of different decks with your UR Dream Ticket. So I'd recommend to those. There's a lot of other really good cards in here too, but honestly, Lance and Cosmic Cyclone are probably the 2 best cards to get with your UR Dream Ticket. Moving on to the trap cards in this selection, there's a ton of really good trap cards that you can put in so many different decks. And let me list a couple right here. We have Fiendish Chain, a very powerful continuous trap card. When you activate this card, you can target 1 effect monster on the field, negate the effects of that face-up monster while it's on the field. Also, that face-up monster cannot attack. When this card's destroyed, destroy this card. So you can stop your opponent from activating certain monster effects when they summon their monster. And on top of that, you can use Fiendish Chain to stop your opponent from attacking you if it is an effect monster. So super powerful card, good for multiple reasons. Really good card here. The other card that I would have to recommend right here is Regeki Break. Regeki Break is a really good card that can work in a multitude of decks. You discard 1 card to target a card on the field and destroy it. This card will work fantastic in decks like Blue Eyes White Dragon, or just other decks that need to utilize the graveyard in order to trigger combos, for the fact that you can utilize Regeki Break's discard effect, where you can discard one of your cards that wouldn't be too useful in your hand but would be more useful in the graveyard, and then you get to discard that card, pop a card on the field, and then now that that card is in the graveyard, you can utilize its effect to special summon a monster or stop your opponent by doing other things. So Regeki Break would work well in like a Blue Eyes White Dragon deck and other stuff like that, which is a cool card. So that's why I recommend it, because it can work in a multitude of decks, but it would really work in decks that need to utilize graveyard effects. And then the other 2 cards that I'll have to recommend is Paleozoic Canadia and Floodgate Trap Hole. They're both very similar cards with slightly different effects, but they're both very powerful. Floodgate Trap Hole, when your opponent summons a monster, you can flip that monster into face down defense position, and they cannot change the battle position of that card for the remainder of the duel unless they have a different card that can state flip a card up and down, but they themselves can't flip that card up on their own. Canadia, kind of in the same boat. You can target a monster your opponent controls, flip it face down, but it's not locked there permanently. But the benefit with Canadia here is that while this card is in your graveyard, if your opponent or you activates a trap card, you can actually special summon Canadia back onto the field as a monster, and you can have just a little extra defense. And what's also cool about Canadia is the fact that you can trigger this card during any point of the duel as long as there's a monster on your opponent controls. So with Floodgate, you would have to utilize this card right away when your opponent summons a monster, but with Canadia, you can flip down your opponent's monster whenever you feel like it. So both are very similar with slightly different effects, but they're both fantastic cards to consider. Right now, Floodgate Trap Hole is a little stronger than Canadia, because in this game right now, you kind of want to shut down your opponent as quick as possible in this current meta. But they're both very powerful cards, and I would strongly recommend getting either one of these cards with your UR Dream Ticket if you're a new player. Other than that, there's not really any other really powerful cards that can be utilized in any sort of decks besides the ones that I just mentioned. But I want to just quickly shout out a couple monsters and extra deck cards that are really good to consider getting with your UR Dream Ticket. A couple cool monsters to get from your extra deck that can work in a multitude of decks. Coral Dragons is a fantastic card right here. It's a 6-star tuner synchro monster that can pop cards, and when this card gets sent to the graveyard, you can draw a card. We have Broniac, another powerful 6-star monster where you can discard cards from your hand and return monsters that your opponent controls back to their hand. You have Scrap Dragon and Vermilion Dragon Mech, powerful synchro monsters here that can pop cards, which is really cool. Black Rose Dragon is a classic, a 7-star monster that can nuke the field. You have Armades, a 5-star synchro monster that can attack your opponent, and when they attacks, your opponent can't trigger any cards in response to this card's attack. When it comes to the Xyz monsters here, there's not really anything that good from here. I would say Jin is a pretty good generic rank 4 monster because you can flip down your opponent's monsters when you summon this card onto the board. This guy's pretty generic in a multitude of decks. Utopia is also pretty cool too. When it comes to the monsters in this game, there's not really anything I would strongly recommend because it really depends on the deck that you would want to play, but I'm going to still spitball a couple ideas for you guys if you're unsure what monster you would potentially want to pick. Goblinberg, Utopia, Onomatopoeia, and Gagako are some fantastic level 4 monsters to go for some really good rank 4 plays with summoning into Xyz monsters. Whitestone Ancients is a fantastic card if you're playing Blue Eyes White Dragon. This card, when it's sent to the graveyard from your deck, hand, or field, if it's in your graveyard that turn, at the end of your turn, you can special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon for free. Very, very, very good card if you don't have 3 copies of this card already. Junk Synchron is a really powerful card now in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links thanks to the brand new structure deck that came out for Yusei for Stardust Nexus. With a Junk Synchron comboed with Shooting Star Road, this card alone is going to be able to synchro summon into Shooting Star Dragon, thanks to how broken that skill is right now. So Junk Synchron is actually a really good card to get 3 of. You can get 1 copy from the structure deck, 1 copy with your UR Dream Ticket, and then try to fish that last copy from the Secrets of the Ancients mini box. You're going to be good to go right there, and I would strongly recommend trying to get 3 copies of this card because, like I said, with that new skill and Junk Synchron alone, Shooting Star Dragon for free. And last but not least, I got to shout out the homie Spear Karibo. You can get this card through a multitude of ways. You can get it from the Ultimate Rising box, from the selection box, and there's actually a bundle in Duel Links that you can pay a little bit of money, open up 10 packs from the most recent box, and get a guaranteed copy of Spear Karibo. But still, if you don't have 3 copies of Spear Karibo, utilizing your UR Dream Ticket, it's not bad. This card is a hand trap where if you discard it when your opponent attacks with a monster, you can switch that monster to defense position, and this is a non-target effect, so you can usually stop your opponent's monster from attacking you. So Spear Karibo is that OG card that can work in a multitude of decks, and it's not that bad of a card. And honestly, that's going to be it when it comes to today's video. Again, it really depends on what deck you're trying to play when it comes to utilizing your Dream Ticket, but I still hope that this guide helps you guys out by any means when it comes to figuring out what cards to get with your UR Dream Ticket. If this guide helped you out, you know what to do. Leave a like on the video down below, and be sure to subscribe to the channel for more Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links content. Other than that, that's going to be it for me. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everybody.